Wizard, have you heard about daily PvP rewards? All you need to do to earn free rewards is participate in PvP. Daily! Haha!
Alright, let's continue with another session of Wizard101. I am Lombre, the Ombre, and I'm going to, in this video, I'm gonna go into Ravenwood, and we're going to do orientation because we weren't able to complete that as there was a disturbance in terms of Malistaire and also on the street of Unicorn Way. We defeated Rattlebones, and now that we've gotten through that, we can get on to the next section of the game. Yeah. So we're gonna go into Ravenwood. You see, all the teachers are here, and instead of walking around the whole school like in the original version, you don't have to anymore. They're more, it's a more brief introduction. So let's talk to Mr. Lincoln and see what he has to say.
Ah, you must be the new student I've heard so much about. You made quite a name for yourself on Unicorn Way. I'm Mr. Lincoln, and I just have some quick paperwork to get you enrolled. Signature here, initials there, and a lock of hair here. Are you allergic to unicorns or eyes of newt? Good. That takes care of that. To complete your enrollment, come meet your professors.
And the schools, the main schools, are Storm, Fire, Ice on the elemental side. You got Myth, Life and Death on the spirit side, and then we have Balance, which is straight in the middle of all of these, which is not located anywhere on Wizard City campus. So we'll find out afterwards, or during this orientation, who is going to be teaching us, because there is no Balance school here. It's actually located on Krokotopia, and that's the second world. We'll meet that professor a long time from now.
Welcome! I am the professor of the Ice School, where we teach thaumaturges to endure like permafrost, withstanding all attacks.
While in the Storm School, we instruct young diviners to strike hard, fast as lightning, defeat the enemy before they know what hit them.
We pyromancers of the Fire School prefer to carefully fan the flames. Utilizing damage over time spells, we slow burn our enemies to cinders.
So, Ice is a lot about, it's sort of like Life, but it's more about defensive aspects. Fire and Storm are the damage dealing spell casting types, and Fire has aura spells that deal damage over time. So it's useful also to use AoEs, or spells that hit all opponents. For example, in the first episode of this playthrough, we saw Meteor Strike, and that hit all enemies. So these are very, very powerful spells and very powerful magic that we are using.
Commanding the elements is indeed impressive, but Theurgis of the Life School seek harmony with nature, which gives us the power to heal others.
So as you heard right there, Life does less damage than a lot of other schools, but at least it has the healing capability to get through a lot of battles that other wizards might not be able to.
Sorcerers also seek harmony, symmetry in all things. Balance is unique magic from Krokotopia, which supports and enhances the other schools.
So Arthur Weathersfield will be the professor that we will have until we reach Krokotopia. And sorcerers use elemental and spirit types, they generally deal with the 3 elemental types first and foremost. And it just, for balance, it's just, there's no clear weakness, but there's no clear strength either. So that explains what balance is like. And then the last one is conjuring.
Fireballs and flowers. Freshman magic, that. All wizards summon monsters to fight for us, but only the best conjurers dare study the ways of myth.
So this is Cyrus Drake. He will be talked about, or we will talk with him more as we progress, because he will become more important to the story. Because this is Cyrus Drake, Malastair Drake, the old Death Professor's brother, and Sylvia Drake is the wife of Malastair, or Malastair's wife. So this will become important to the story. It's the main key to the story, and is the reason that Malastair went rogue and did what he did. So in the future we will see the actions that have taken place that sent these things into motion.
And I'm Malone, not, exactly a professor. We haven't had a real deaf professor since the last one turned evil and destroyed the school, so,
Yep, and that was Malastair. The assistant Professor Dworgen disappeared with the death school. We'll figure out where that is when we get to a higher level and closer to finishing in Wizard City.
but I can get you started at being a necromancer. Our death spells drain health from enemies, damaging them and healing ourselves at the same time.
So it's like leeching life. So you're doling out damage, but you're also receiving half the damage that the opponent has taken, and you increase your health with it.
Stick around a spell, as it were, after this lot is dispersed, and I shall tell you what I've learned of balance magic while in ancient Crocotopia.
Alright, so now everybody's going to disperse, and we're lucky as a balance student because our instructor is right in front of us. And what happens is, if you're in the different schools, you will appear inside the buildings or the classrooms of your professor. So as you see, I have Elemental Shield right here. So what I'll do is I'll take this out. It's unnecessary. There's a few other spells that are unnecessary. So Ice Beetle will be taken out, Dark Sprite, Blood Bat. Just some high-hitting spells is all that we need, along with the Scarabs. And we'll change things in and out based on what we consider at the time necessary. So yeah, we don't really need much, but we will need something from Arthur Weathersfield. Let's talk to him.
Fascinating place, Crocotopia. Home to a kingdom of mystic reptiles. Their ancient sorcerers invented a composite of primal magics called balance. It's still a little unofficial, though, so I'm out here teaching under the clouds, checked by regularly to train new balance spells. As your proficiency level increases, I'll call you here to learn unique spells only the most practiced of sorcerers can master. Train yourself in a scorpion spell, then tell Mr. Lincoln you're ready to finish your enrollment. Toodles!
You're already learning multi-pip spells? Oh, splendid! At the beginning of each round of combat, you gain a pip. You use these, like mana, to power spells. Some spells, like this one, take more than 1 pip to cast. To use it, pass a turn, or cast a 0 pip spell to build up your pip supply.
Alright, so now that we're done with this, right off the bat at level 5, you will get a Scorpion for balance. And this will be a rank 2 spell. So when we close it, you can see in your deck, it will have automatically 3 inside your deck. So for the other schools, Death usually have a Dark Fairy, but then the second one, you'll get a Ghoul that deals damage and then leeches life from your opponent and gives 80 health. So it's like 160 damage, and then you gain 80 health in return for that. For life, I forgot what the life second one was. There's lightning bats, there's that storm, there's a snow serpent for ice, there is an aura spell that is called Fire Elf for fire, and that will deal damage over time, over 3 rounds. And also, for Myth, there is a Troll, as explained in the very first episode. For life, I remember the life spell now, it does the least damage, it's called the Leprechaun spell, and each of these spells in your class either takes 1 power pip or 2 pips, as it is a rank 2 spell. So this is what the 2 right here on the Scorpion card says. So if there's a 1, it'll take away 1 pip. If it's a 2, it'll take away 2 pips from you. But there are 0 rank spells in the game that you can use on yourself or your opponent, and then it will sit next to their feet or next to their head, but you will not have to use pips for that. So that's pretty interesting. So let's go back to Mr. Lincoln.
You've met your professor. Great! You can train spells in your school for free, but to learn other school spells, you must spend training points. Here, I'll give you one now. Use it to start training a secondary school. And if you change your mind later, see me to buy back training points. Anyway, now that you're enrolled, you get your own dorm room to store items and decorate however you want. This is the boys' dorm here.
You see, he explained the training points, so I no longer have to. For secondary or tertiary schools or customary, whatever, you use training points in order to, and you spend them in order to gain higher rank spells down the line, in order so that you can have different spells to use. So let's say you have ice. Some people might go 5 training points in to get a tower shield, and tower shield blocks all attacks minus 50%. So if you deal 200 damage to me, then it only takes 100, and that's very useful because it blocks any attack and not just one type or another. So that can be very useful for balance. So he also explains the dorm. We took out the stuff from the dorm already. We really do not need the dorm yet, but we will need it in the future.
And this is the girls' dorm. You can also use the Go Home button to reach your dorm room from anywhere. Once you get settled in, report to the headmaster.
Alright. So, once we go in here, there's just nothing. There's stuff for gardening, but we're not gonna use that stuff until we get to the gardening part. So here's a bunch of stuff that I put away that I'll uncover and use when it comes down to it, when we get to the level I was at earlier before I reset everything so I could do these recordings. So with that, this ends the orientation episode. Thank you guys for watching. If you're new, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe And yeah, see you later.